I never died, if I were never to vanish, and could wake up in the cold where my soul cried famished and never finished. Those were my wishes, and wishes are only heard by the few. The preferred is you. It's him, it's her, it's through the blurs and past the curves. What occurs is disturbed, is birth and death and the time in between. That made me stop and look at the scene. In the fires in the heart, the sting. A dream like life lived outside of time and patterns of speech. Good evening, my fellow mellow people, disenchanted with the current state of love and hate and the boundaries that separate. You better make amends and look for closure, cause close up we toast cups to closed up roads stuck that'll never let us out. But what's that all about? In emotionless days, I'm okay with the decay and the yellow haze that makes its way to every day. And don't say that what you meant was never your true intent. You can reinvent, and reinvent some more. Let the cold water pour, extinguish. I promise I won't intervene until we feel clean, which is probably the most adult decision I've made yet. No further ado, I present and conclude. Included in the rhyme is some brain food. Use what you can to try to understand woman and man. We're all brothers and sisters in this great land. With no further ado, I present and conclude. Included in the rhyme is some brain food. Use what you can to try to understand woman and man. We're all brothers and sisters. It's so dramatic, the graphical accounts in full detail. We mingle with the people, some evil and others peaceful, but deciding which is a bitch. I move on and concentrate beyond a common state of ignorance, playing the innocent. It's imminent, a figment of my existence is resistant to the restraints. In an instant I turn distant, promised a shipment of goods to those who would listen. Showing some interest in this music I gleam. Is this a dream? Killing schemes, bass lines and screams, shotguns and drum machines, yet my skill is still seen. I busted out the cage, ripped off my noose, made eye contact with truth. Now we're hand in hand at deuce. The proof is the music that can suit too much abuse. With a feeling of uncertainness, some sort of nervousness, disturbances, displaying destruction. What's the purpose? Is the surface a facade? In music and life, the job is to overcome a strife. Release the knife and teach what's right. With deepened sentiments and perceptions, keeping directions spread out like a spectrum, involved with the tension. Let that tension go. Don't even mention flows, cause I'm about to vent some woes. Yeah, that's how we do. With no further ado, I present and conclude. Included in the rhyme is some brain food. Use what you can to try to understand women and man. We're all brothers and sisters. In peace, let me release and revisit the beast, the blizzard, freezing, increasing what we exhibit. I live it vivid and imagine how we could pivot and move along with no focus upon a digit. It's sick how I sit, dimly lit, frigid strips help me to leave this earth. Is it wrong to seek rebirth because things die? You know I watched it with my own eyes and felt the impact. The black skies, they multiplied. I vocalize and hope to fly beyond the smoke. The cries go unheard. It's wondrous how tons of thunder left the sun blurred. He barely survived his violent graphic story. Static rose up in the morning, forming clouds that would be storming. Transformed when I'm performing, warming up the cold. He rode the shell, exposed the soul, explode. I swim in echoes. The effects of my special effects is gold. A sweet summer amber ale poured down your throat. A strawberry wine antidote, making my mind expandable. Expressed in extreme thought streams, I dream intangible. Current, fight, friction, direction. Dispute, resolve, I'm missing a section. Kept it quiet, shot in private climates. I never even really tried to find it. Tied up to my rhymes, we're hella binded. Reminded that my time flipped twice and climbed the vines. Backward dimension. Die young, born old, killers let go. Sounds similar. Wait, no, that's our show. How did that happen? With no further ado, I present and conclude. Included in the rhyme is some brain food. Use what you can to try to understand woman and man. We're all brothers and sisters in this great land. With no further ado, I present and conclude. Included in the rhyme is some brain food. Use what you can to try to understand women and men. We're all brothers and sisters in this great land. floating through dimensions, slipping through my hands, got a little bit of taste, watching time stand. I can't believe what a key achieved, set me free, that's just relief. Relive, reset, repeat. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. Otherwise it all disintegrates. I stroll those banks where my imagination sank. The tides came high with no restraint. So when I paint, I don't complain when the watercolors flash. The aim and the result clash, breaking the glass that held medicine and provided a much-needed highlighted crevice in the sky bright. Reminisce with these sentences, I'm venting, climbing fences, collecting all senses, focusing the lenses, noticing the coldest thing was the densest, and moving right through it, shit, I'm just an apprentice. I dedicate my life to a princess and invest my heart and soul. Now love is my main interest, in the chest, in the mind, or in the flesh, is endless, continuous. Consider this venue lit as I send you bits and pieces of a mind that releases through a rhyme, seeking peace, not confined but on a leash, feast or take a peek. Poetically I reek on a flower bed asleep. This perfume isn't cheap, but it's preferred when I'm playing with words like a wizard, cutting tails off lizards. I'm berserk with the scissors. Observe curves in a speech pattern, touching nerves, tapping spinals, uninsured. My style has emerged. Confused, I walk with moonlight and blues and taste the spring air, but it's my thought that I choose. Sticky sweat profuse, I'm seduced to produce. Give me stress reduce, I can escape through you, get loose. I lost my mind in the design, my rhymes went rewind and emotions turn refined, clarify. Love, terrified without, I barely collect, connect, come out. It's intricate, intimate, dimly lit, imminent, and in the pivotal moments my components never shift. Strolling home, feeling the drift. I travel swift, levitate, lift, and make this weightless to shake cliffs. I take hits from every direction, aimless. It's my language that made this shit dangerous in the strangest fashion, which lacked in compassion, was trashed with no contact and bashed in until a fraction remained. I tried to explain how my sprains never heal. We still walk the plains of the unreal. It's a large field with hella ice as chill. It never once had a pill, but now I'm stuck in staying still. Displaying skill, a minute movement, fine tune when the moon's lit. We made it through the humid and the lazy afternoons until dawn's doom dips. Our cocoon rips, a new birth eclipse. Like a first kiss, take my thirsty lips and speak with nervousness and deliver ease. The light drizzle and breathe white even tease. I'm breathing steady through the seasons, inconsistencies. In position for an inner vision of a symphony. My ensemble's bomb with a combo. With lyrics we find rhythm like a mambo. And fertilize a garden of thought. Let the lawn grow. I'm calm in the stronghold of my song, so golden like the pond that brought discovery. I dreamed of a lover that discovered me, a sanctuary at a summer's peak. We made love unique, like a new beat that needed some blue heat. I write to be digested like a spoon feed. I write to be digested like a spoon feed. Like a spoon feed. Like a spoon feed. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. Give and take. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. Give and take. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. Give and take. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. Give and take. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. Give and take. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. It's give and take. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. It's give and take. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. It's give and take. Grief came discreet, giving heat, and I give thanks as give and take. chance of innocence meeting up. I must have missed the gaze and the beautiful days and the ways of a star that plays in the dusk of a dream that swallowed me whole. So what's your point, she asked, and wouldn't even look at my greatest thought, which lived in a smile and took a hit for the team that day. Yeah, we took a hit for the team. Now it's serene and still, and I chill by the water and fill up my brain with how did this happen? It's me against me and everybody's clapping, and damn, I'm such a sap. I could attack and explode, but under the cold I'm under control with thunderous flows. That's how it goes, and I'm comfy like that. I'm comfy like that. A little bit later, we sink to the bottom and can't help but think just what would have happened if we didn't leave each other alone. Because we shouldn't leave each other alone. Now I know you're out there, getting on with your life, making it right, looking for some light or a star in the night. But you were my star in the night. She moved muscles back and forth with an X-ray vision. She could always teleport. I tell a short story and make it long and drawn out, but these were epic events that drifted slowly through the clouds. I'll take vows and make oaths and stay soaked until we float hand in hand. Her touch, who I can never live without this rush. Never will I be the same. She changed everything. Supreme human being, sing and pray. I see perfection in her ways. A flawless goddess. How odd it's just her and nothing else. Everything blurs and melts. A butterfly's cry and a bee stings sharpest edge. Move mountains in my head. I tasted honey in a web. Fingertips drip thick. I represent the delicate. With delight I deliver the next stage of development. There's no division between you and I. We tear down each layer of skin and move plies. I do cry when emotions run heavy. This current's forever rapid and I truly am ready. I truly am ready. And in dense suspense I sense elegance with no relevance to ordinary human intelligence. My element is blood that my companion shares identical. I pump heavy and hard and tear apart every last ventricle, way past gallons of a butcher. I ziplock my heart and swallow it, swelling up sweet, incomplete, yet in so deep I'm all of it. Consumed, relaxed, and comfortable with the facts. Where I was is where I'm at, a mind cleanse and a skull crack. I met a soul max with the brain bubbling, overflowing towards a troubling spot. She raised my temperature from hot to the likeness of a boiling pot. Enjoying not soaked in water, loosening threads, untangling spiral rainbows and flesh ropes that have been dangling from sensitive nerves. I drench hers and quench thirst and burst. The curse turned backwards in reverse. My body jerked from withdrawals, but then was nursed. The effects of affection were served with perfection, preferred within a section where my heart takes great steps in and travels inward, internal, blindfolded. I trust everything, regardless of how it's voted. Perceptions shift, directions drift from the tiniest of shit. Minuscule blades rip, dividing sections of lightning. They shot right through the center of my attitude. I moved and felt a tattoo, a flesh wound under my chest, glued forever. I cradle love like a treasure and smile because nothing is better. Believe the measure in which you rate does not apply. That shit breaks from the weight of I and she so violently. That shit breaks from the weight of I and she so violently, so violently, so violently. Can always answer my own question. The only solution when I'm stressed in my congestion. Fresh in and out of clouds of doubt. Love saved my life, no second thought. No rainstorm, no drought. Even balance the scale, silence in loud volumes. I'm challenged and chilled. Caught up in some talents, containing closet calluses on carousels. I'm calm and circulate till the break of dawn. When everybody's gone, I glide through typhoons and worship her shit. The verdict came through when I was first bit. I represent myself and document with nervous cursive. My purpose is to perform a service, breaking the surface. In a personal church, I burst and tripped off the search that have me in the clouds perched. Never mind the urges to fall free. Boy, I'm on the verge with a beat and some words. Please do not disturb. This is romance, obsession and chance. A dance, a kiss, an ice water boat ride off a cliff into a mist of myth and pink bliss. I took a cotton candy sip off her lips and slipped. That's why I strip my mind to scrape away time and worship a photograph that carries the design of a blurred figure that drifts through the golden clouds and rains tears because we were never allowed to exist. Relax, fall asleep, never come back. A one-track mind inclined to collapse. Exhausted, my heart expands, I never lost it. 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 Exhausted, 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 exhausted. Since you can't rinse and wash your mind easily, better watch your time seasonally before it leaves your grip. Transition slip, I'm stripped and strict. To one thing I drift and move and dip, pursue my lift. Hopes equipped with ideals that steal what is real and what's expected. It's a hectic ordeal, unaffected. I get a field and build a wide shield that covers all fields and all arenas. Where the grass is greener is where I construct my demeanor. Suppose we all could propose peace and not pose in times of grief, no matter how far those lows reach. Get out and let the wind and the breeze blow sweet. Every melody I keep explodes deep. Distance, I stepped on every track. For instance, I haven't made my way back. Some assistance would be much appreciated, but I'm resistant to the system that never mediated. An abbreviated life cut short, but I expand. In excruciating pain I stand. Every ugly image was scanned and enlarged and charged with the dart of white fire. But I wanna fly higher, excel, never expire. I let that choir sing. My blood score was the icing, the circulation, the slicing, sweet and surprising, with serenades diving through the hearts of strangers. My only disclaimer is to break out of all containers while we hang motionless yet fight. I drifted off slowly, hella low-key, a high flight through twilight. A wall of noise was my voice and echoes. I shoegaze and let go, let nobody ever enter. The inventor with no invitations, but all invite inspiration and intimidation from the rest of the world, no integration. Awake now, I see past human flesh and breathe fresh and stretch out every word until they disconnect. Status wrecked and ruined. I'm a shoo-in for a place in the gray sky when the cold wind blew in. Blew in, blew in, blew in. But I'm exhausted. My heart expands, I never lost it. 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 Exhausted. My heart expands. The blue-gray opened up with antenna fees. My vision bleeds, constant repetition, work and sleep. Believe every attempt was made to find solace in shade and bathe. I walk the Everglades. My pen displays erosion caused by fingertips when the landscape dips. And my mind's a walking stick, chalking up the talking tricks that contradict with no words, just spitting with spurs. My reach runs out. I seek when to come out that day when the sun's out. Dominates and shoves, I contemplate when the dawn will break enough for me to budge. Melting sludge with an aqua yellow gaze and wordplay. I touch rhymes and beats on their vertebrae and flirt with the verb's way, undisturbed under her brain. I explain how my life changed. Unchained in the rain, let loose on the terrain that came up in a dream. Into night game till light came. What's seen and heard distorts. It's what's deserved in the short work. We curve way off course. I take the source of a thought, let it grow into a crop. Let the water never stop. Send me raindrops. I take the source of a thought, let it grow into a crop. Let the water never stop. Send me raindrops. I take the source of a thought, let it grow into a crop. Let the water never stop. Can't figure it out, and it doesn't make sense. You need to tear down the fence in that head of yours and clench love. Release that fist, they don't fit in gloves. How could you misjudge? How could you misjudge? If you can't figure it out, and it doesn't make sense, you need to tear down the fence in that head of yours and clench love. Release that fist, they don't fit in gloves. How could you misjudge? How could you misjudge? How could you misjudge? I picked up your victim in the mud, we flew above. We flew above. How could you misjudge? I picked up your victim in the mud, we flew above. We flew above. Scrolling through a stolen moment with a swollen brain, enrolled in the middle of some blowing wind and frozen rain. My omen came, opening emotions, spoken quotes, spoken like a secret potion. It's called devotion. A divine soul got me open, more than the impulses, convulsions. Hot like a smoking oven and molten lava. Drinking Java, letting loose, getting clues on life. The pain's reduced, I feel tight. It's real, right? The pain's reduced, I feel right. It's real tight. Concealed at night, whisper phrases like a gust, touching skeletons of trees when I bust. I cold crushing more. These lyrics gushing, pouring flood floors. Fuck fighting, I can't afford to endure another war. According to me, sorting from the surface to the core. I get nervous when I see my tape sitting in the store.